This is Joe narrating a PowerPoint. It's in Social Studies in the unit on Economics, Lesson 1, Basic Economics Concepts, found on page 458 in the Kaplan book. Most of us are familiar with buying and selling household items and food, so we are familiar with these basic concepts. We'll just spell it out a little more in more formal terms in this PowerPoint. So what are capital and consumer goods? Consumer goods are the things that we buy as consumers. For example, a coffee pot or food. We buy these at retail stores for our own use. Capital goods, also called producer goods, are the things that businesses buy in order to make consumer goods. So, for example, in order to make a coffee pot, the company that makes them needs certain materials called raw materials in order to make the coffee pot. Four things are needed for production. You need natural resources, including energy. You need human resources like labor. You need capital resources. The person who starts the company has to have a place to build whatever they're building. That is an investment, and they have to keep the business running with further investments. And then you need entrepreneurship or management. Basically, someone has to run the business. So for the process of production, you need inputs. You put things into the production process and you get things out. So you need land for your factory. You need labor, humans to work in your factory. You need capital, which is basically money to buy the factory structures. And you need someone to run the business, an entrepreneur. And then you get things out of it. You get cars, houses, foods, and consumer goods like computers. A retail market is a market that sells directly to consumers. For example, here's a picture of Reading Terminal. If you go in Reading Terminal, you'll find many stores competing to sell you products. They might compete based on price. If they have a lower price, they might get more consumers to buy their products, or they might compete on quality. If the quality is better for the same price, people will buy the higher quality item. So when you combine cost with quality, that determines the value of a product. The higher the value of a product, in theory, consumers will want that product more. A wholesale market is a market that one business sells to another business. So for example, the stores in Reading Terminal will get their products from someplace else, which will sell it to them. So the retail market, they'll take that product and sell it to us as consumers, and the wholesale market is one business selling to another business. So the goods are being distributed from one place to another until they get to the point of actually being sold to the consumer. So the distribution system starts with the source. For example, here's a field of a vegetable that will be farmed by the farmer, sold to a distributor. The distributor will sell it in the wholesale market to a store in Reading Terminal, and then that retail market in Reading Terminal will sell it to the consumer, which is us. For the whole process of production, you need raw materials. For example, that farmer needs tractors. Those tractors need fuel. The farmer needs seed. The farmer needs fertilizer. So all these are the raw materials for the farm. So what determines the price of a product on the market? Classically, it's said that supply and demand sets the price. For example, on the left of this scale, you see that if the demand for a product falls, meaning fewer people want that product, the price will probably fall. Also, if the supply of a product rises, the retail markets will try to get rid of this excess supply and they'll lower the prices. As opposed to that, if the demand for a product rises, the price will rise. For example, if there's a snowstorm coming, potentially the cost or price of snow shovels may rise because there will be increased demand. If the supply falls, for example, if there's a shortage of a product like a snow shovel before a storm, retail marketers can sell the snow shovels they have at a higher price. Scarcity is when there's a lesser amount of a product to be sold. For example, if there's a frost in Florida and the orange crop is damaged so that there'll be fewer oranges, then the price of orange juice might go up because there's less orange juice to be sold. Also, another word in your book is inventory. If the inventory, meaning how many or how much of the product is available, if that goes up, retail markets may try to unload some of this excess inventory or excess product by having a sale and lower their prices. The United States is generally considered to have a free market system. All of these items apply to a free market system. People are free to start their own business. They can start whatever business they want. They can earn whatever profits they want as long as the consumers are willing to buy their product. They can compete against each other, and they can set any price they want. Of course, competition from other marketers may hold them down in how much they can increase their price and still stay in business. So the United States is pretty close to a free market system. However, there are some deviations from a totally free market system in the United States. For example, this is a bar graph which shows United States farm subsidies in 2005. That means the government is giving money to farmers in order to help them either keep the price of their product down or make sure that they stay in the business of farming that particular product. For example, if you look at the red bar on the left, people who grow corn are subsidized by the United States government at about $7 billion per year. That's total number of farmers. The $7 billion is distributed to all those farmers who farm corn. Even a product like tobacco, you can see in the middle of this bar graph in pink, there's over $1 billion given by the government to tobacco farmers to subsidize their farming. These are called price supports, and they ensure that farmers will continue to grow that product and also that they will get a reasonable price so that they can stay in business. That's it for page 458, Basic Economics Concepts.